You ever feel like you're doing everything right, but your business still isn't showing up in Google's local results?
We just did an audit for a small business that felt the exact same way. And it turns out that he was invisible on Google just simply because he had the wrong hours listed. Go figure. We made one tiny change and doubled his call volume in 30 days.
So today we're walking you through a 10-step local SEO audit checklist. These are the same steps that we use in real audits with real results.
And you're getting them all completely free. These are not just tips from some automated tool that simply is going to suggest you be awesome. These are things that actually move the needle.
Stick around, we're going to show you how one simple name change helped a realtor rank in the top 3 for 50 miles. And that's just step 2.
And hey, if you find even one of these tips helpful, make sure you subscribe. It helps us help more businesses just like yours. Thank you in advance. Before you start making any changes, you have to know what is actually possible. That means figuring out where you currently stand and also how high that ceiling is.
Exactly. Start by scanning your rankings for your top 5 keywords and make sure you be specific. If you're a plumber in Chicago, don't just track plumber. You also want to track plumber near me, emergency plumber Chicago, licensed plumber, things people actually type in. Not, I need a miracle worker for my leaky faucet, which, while accurate, isn't a great search term.
We use a tool called Places Scouts for this. It gives us a grid-based visual so we can see exactly how a business ranks across a city. It is way more useful than just simply Googling your business and being crushed with the reality that you're currently on page 5. From there, what you want to actually do is compare how you are versus the top competitor in your city. This will tell you if you actually have room to grow or if you're already maxing out your potential in that area.
In some cases, we've seen businesses doing everything right, but they're still stuck. Why? Because they've hit the limits of their current location. In those situations, opening up a new location might actually be the only way to keep growing on Google.
It's probably not the answer that anybody wants to hear, especially if you've already tried all the easy stuff, but it is the one that works most consistently, so you're welcome. Coming up next, we're going to dive into a little-known tactic on how to optimize your business name to rank better on Google. This is without breaking any of Google's rules, and we have a case study to prove it. So let's talk about one of the biggest ranking factors for Google's local search results, your business name.
According to the Local Search Ranking Factors study, having keywords in your business name is the second most important factor for your local PAC rankings. That is massive.
It can be a total game changer. We once worked with a realtor who was so filtered out of Google's search results that his business was practically a secret. That's a bold marketing strategy, not very effective, but maybe bold.
We had him rebrand strategically using our rebrand optimization process. We have a video that explains how to update your Google business profile name in further detail. You'll find the link in the description below.
The result? He started showing up in the top 3 for his main keyword, and not just in his own neighborhood. He ranked across a 50-mile radius. It turns out that Google apparently thinks that your name needs to be relevant to what you actually do. Shocking, I know. Now, before you just go and start stuffing a whole bunch of keywords into your business name, don't. That violates Google's guidelines and could potentially backfire. There is a legitimate way to do this. You basically need to file a DBA, or doing business as with your state or local government.
A DBA lets you use a trade name that includes keywords without changing your legal business name. As long as it's real and consistent across your online presence and used in your marketing, Google will accept it. It's a loophole, but a legal one, which is our favorite kind.
Bottom line, if your competitors are outranking you and they have keywords in their business name, this could be the reason why. Adapting their strategy also doesn't have to be risky if you follow the rules, or at least if you're good with bending them a little.
All right, next up, the almighty primary category. This one is huge. According to the Local Search Ranking Factors study, your primary category is the #1 local search ranking factor that will influence your local PAC results.
It sounds simple, but getting this wrong can cost you that #1 spot in the search results. We actually worked with an HVAC contractor once who had this happen to him, and his rankings plummeted overnight.
That's right. His primary category had changed from air conditioning repair service to air conditioning contractor. And just like that, he went from #1 all the way to number 31.
That is a huge hit. If you're not showing up in the top 3, you are practically invisible. So how do you make sure you pick the right category?
The trick here is to look at what your competitors are using. What are the top businesses in your area doing?
One quick way to do this is to use a tool like Places Scout. We run one of their lead gen reports for the target keyword, and it will give us a list of all the categories that each particular business is using. We find that this works a little better than the what sounds right method.
This helps us make a data-driven decision instead of trusting our gut feeling. Let's show you an example.
Here's what it looks like in action. We ran a report for a random air conditioning business. And as you can see, it pulls a list of categories that all the top ranking businesses are using.
By using this report, we can make sure that your business is aligned with the top performing categories and not make the same mistake that our HVAC client made.
Coming up next, we're going to talk about a really small change that can make a really big difference. Trust me, this one is easy to overlook, but it can really impact your rankings on Google.
Here's something that a lot of business owners ignore: business hours. Did you know that Google actually ranks a business higher when it's open?
Sounds too simple, right? Well, it's true. For example, we worked with a lawyer once, and when his business was open, he ranked pretty high. But when his business was closed, he ranked a lot lower. But when he updated his hours to be open, even a few hours later, his rankings shot up. It turns out that Google doesn't like sending people to a locked door. Go figure.
Check this out. Here's a visual showing the clear difference before compared to after he updated his business hours. You can see that when the business was open, his rankings skyrocketed in the local pack.
It's a small detail, but many business owners miss it. This is why you need to make sure you are actually open and that Google knows about it.
So, how do you take advantage of this? Simply make sure that you have an after-hours call answering service in place so you can list your business as open 24/7.
If you don't have one yet, I suggest trying out Specialty Answering Service. They offer a 2-week free trial, so you can test it out without any commitment. It's an easy way to make sure that your hours are actually accurate while still getting that ranking boost. The link is in the description below.
And to show you just how effective this tactic can be, we worked with a business that changed their hours to 24/7, and their first-time callers, they doubled in just 1 month. All because they were willing to answer the phone at 3 o'clock in the morning.
They went from having 57 first-time callers 1 month to having 119 callers the next month. That's not just a boost in calls, that's a boost in business.
Next up, reviews. If you're not actively getting new reviews, it's going to be very hard to maintain your rankings on Google.
It is not about just having a ton of reviews. It's all about how frequently those reviews come in. Regular new reviews basically tell Google that you are trustworthy. Anything older than a few months might as well be a historical document.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I know.
This is the Declaration of Independence.
Let me show you how crazy this can get. We worked with a law firm that was getting a good amount of reviews. But when they started ramping up their review strategy, things really took off.
Here's where it gets wild. After getting more reviews, this law firm went from being practically invisible to ranking across their entire market.
You can see the chart right here. The rankings shot up after they started getting more new reviews. They went from barely showing up to dominating the local pack.
So what should you be paying attention to here? First, how many reviews are your competitors getting on a monthly basis? Second, how does your average rating compare to theirs? And third, how does your total number of reviews compare to theirs? We actually built a tool that automates all of this for us so that we can use it when we do audits.
Now, if you want to succeed on Google, you have to have a content plan. But here's the catch. It's not just about creating content for the sake of it. You need content that answers the exact questions that people are already asking.
Exactly. This is where Steve Toth's People Also Ask Scraper tool comes in handy. It goes and it scrapes Google's section labeled People Also Ask, and it gives you all of the questions that people are actually searching about in your industry. It's kind of like having a cheat sheet for your entire content strategy.
For example, let's say you are a DUI lawyer. You could scan for DUI lawyer and see all the questions that people are asking in the People Also Ask section. Like, how much does it cost to hire a DUI lawyer? Or do you have to go to court if you don't have a lawyer?
Once you have these questions, you can now create content that directly answers them. This doesn't just help you rank higher, it kind of brands you as the go-to expert in your field. It's a win-win. You get better rankings, and your audience gets those answers to the questions that they have been fervently Googling all day.
This kind of topical relevance is a huge factor for ranking. When you're answering the specific questions that your audience is already asking, Google rewards that with higher visibility.
Don't forget, content is not one and done. Constantly creating new content based on real user-driven questions will help keep your site fresh and relevant. Because we all know that Google's attention span is about the equivalent of a goldfish. Next, we have a strategy that will make you rank a lot higher on Google without the need to create tons of new content.
All right, let's talk about your existing content. This is something that a lot of businesses get wrong. You don't want to just create new content and forget about all the existing stuff.
That's right. We have found that simply updating your old content can make a big impact on your rankings. You need to treat it kind of like a living document, not something that you just printed once and forgot about.
All right, I got a pro tip for you. The publish date on a blog post is actually a huge ranking factor. So when you update content, make sure that you update the publish date as well.
We have tested this many times and have seen some pretty large ranking boosts from doing this. For example, this blog post that we updated for a painter pushed him from position 4 to position 1, just from refreshing the content on the page and then altering the publish date.
So, what content should you be updating? Start by looking at the pages that are actually driving leads. These are the high priority pages that you actually want to keep up to date because they're actually driving business results.
Next, you want to look at the pages that are actually getting backlinks. Google sees this as very important. When they see that another site is linking to you, all of a sudden that gives you authority. Those pages are kind of like the popular kids, and they should be refreshed accordingly.
When we do an audit, we always make a list of the top performing pages, both in terms of leads and backlinks. That way, we know exactly where to start when it comes to content updates. No guesswork required. Next up, your site's navigation menu. A lot of businesses make the mistake of overloading the menu with every single service you offer. The problem? Well, it confuses both Google and your customer.
Exactly. Your menu is not just for your customers. It is actually a way that you can tell Google which pages on your site are most important.
When you have too many links in the menu, you're not really giving Google any direction. If you list every page, Google can't really tell which ones are the most important.
So here's the key. Less is actually more. The pages that you want in your navigation menu are those pages that actually drive leads on your website. Not every single page on your site. Don't do that. Don't be one of those hoarders.
The biggest challenge in my life is my hoarding disorder.
We've seen it firsthand. For example, we worked with a business that had a cluttered menu. It was full of pages. When we streamlined their navigation menu and removed unnecessary links, their traffic to the remaining pages went up by 40%.
And when we did this for a different business, their traffic actually went up 89%.
But here's where it gets even better. After we focused on the right pages, the ones that actually brought in leads, they saw a 25% increase in conversions.
Next up, we are diving into a quick adjustment that most businesses miss, but it can make a huge difference in how Google views your site.
All right, let's talk about mobile optimization. There's a lot to consider when trying to ensure that your site operates perfectly on a mobile device. But today, we're going to focus on the one key element that will make all the difference.
What you want is for your navigation menu to stick with the user as they scroll down your webpage. This is what we call a sticky menu, and it can be a game changer for your mobile users.
Think about it. On mobile, your contact information is super important. You want to make it as easy as possible for your potential customers to get in touch with you. Okay, and here's the crazy part. Ross Hutchins, who spoke at Brighton SEO in San Diego, shared some pretty impressive stats on sticky navigation menus. When you make your menu sticky, you can see a 39% increase in goal conversions, a 12% increase in page sessions, and an 11% increase in average session duration.
And if none of what Colin just said makes any sense to you, all you need to know is it will make you more money.
Show me the money.
Okay, we're wrapping up with backlinks. If you want to rank well on Google, you got to tell Google that your site is important. And one of the best ways to do that is with backlinks.
Backlinks are kind of like votes of confidence. It's a way of telling Google, hey, this site is important, check it out. The more relevant and the more authoritative the site is that is linking to you, the better your rankings.
Trust us, there's a lot of ways that you can build backlinks. But let me share a strategy that we used for a multi-location retail chain. They came to us because they needed help improving SEO and backlinks for their corporate locations.
And how we went about this was using a localized sponsorship link program. Basically what that means is we looked for local organizations that had sponsors that they linked to on their website. These sponsor pages often link back to the companies who are giving them money. So we reached out to them and secured links for several of their locations.
Here's an example of what that looks like. And let us tell you, the results were incredible. With those additional local links, the business started ranking higher on Google for several locations that got those backlinks.
And backlinks don't just happen overnight. But with a strategic approach, you can build a solid backlink profile that boosts your SEO and helps your local rankings. It's a marathon, not a sprint, but the payout at the finish line is big.
So there you have it, the 10-step local SEO checklist to help you boost your local rankings.
And remember, SEO is not a one-time thing. It's an ongoing process. But by focusing on the right tactics, you can see incredible results that last long-term.
Now it's time to put those steps into action. Start with the basics.
And we've covered a lot today. Everything from updating your business name to getting links to your website and everything in between.
If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button and leave us a comment below with any questions that you have. We would love to hear how you're implementing these tactics.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.